Wow, after a 4-day wait, we are here to start the conclusion of the PGL Major at Copenhagen. We are in the Royal Arena, we are in the playoffs, we are down to the remaining 8 teams who will contest to see who's going to win that trophy. And today, we had our first set of quarterfinal matchups, Cloud9 taking on Vitality, and then the would-be final, the final that we were robbed of, Faze versus Team Spirit. Today, we saw some of the best Counter-Strike played in many years. And on the other side, we saw an absolute blowout. We got the best and the worst, so if you missed any of the action, this is your #1 place to get major recaps daily as the action concludes. So please stay tuned. And before we get started, make sure you guys take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm and helps me with my goal of reaching 1,000 subscribers. While you are there, maybe consider becoming a member of the channel. For $5 a month. You can support me directly in what I do here and gain access to exclusive emblems, emotes, a shout out at the end of every video, as well as more stuff coming soon. And lastly, consider following me on my Twitch channel, linked in the description as well. I stream Sunday through Friday, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come check me out. We'll be playing Counter-Strike 2 tonight, talking about the incredible matches. And speaking of, let's get right into the breakdown of the action today. We got things started this morning with Vitality taking on Cloud9 in what many hoped would be a very close matchup. Unfortunately, it feels like only one team came to play, as the Cloud9 that had impressed so much throughout this tournament seemed to get lost on the way to the big arena. They were absent this entire series, and Vitality seemed to, with ease, walk into a 2-0 victory. I mean, first things first, before we get into the individual maps, popping up the box score here for the series, we had nobody on Cloud9 managing to get an even kill-to-death ratio, and Electronic and Axel barely squeaking out an above 1.0 rating. Meanwhile, this wasn't the typical Vitality performance. ZywOo, while good with 26 kills, 15 deaths, and a 1.2 rating, was not, again, the superstar, #1 player in the world form that we would expect out of him. Really, the highlight of the series was Flames, who had an incredible map too, and helped boost Vitality through when they really needed him most. When we head to the first map of the series, Inferno, I think Cloud9 are actually pretty in this, especially during the first half. Getting 6 in a row on the T side of Inferno right now is incredibly tough, and ending the half 6-6 means the door is wide open on the CT side to pull out a victory. However, and we're going to talk about this more in depth on the second map, Cloud9 lost every single pistol round in this series, and right now, in the current economy, in the current format, losing pistol rounds is one of the most detrimental things you can do to start off your half. Going down almost a guaranteed 3 rounds unless you force buy on the second puts you on the back foot, so much so that's very hard to recover economic state, especially on the second half of play when you might already be behind. We open up the second half, Vitality win the pistol on T side, they take the next 3, now they're up 9-6. Cloud9, once they get some economy going, they take the next 2, but at that point, they get broken on their next loss, they have to save, and then Vitality run off 4 straight to close out the map. Just so much relies on your ability to win pistol rounds right now, and if you can't convert at least 1 or 2 pistol rounds in a series, you're going to find yourself on the back foot way too early. But hey, even though Cloud9 go down 1-0 in this series to start off, listen, 13-8, you guys were in it was kind of a close game, no big deal, right? I mean, what's the worst case scenario? You guys are pretty good on Anubis, it's not like you're just gonna get blown out 13-2, right? Right, guys? I mean, you want to talk about full-scale collapse? Nobody above 10 kills. Electronic goes 9-9 to be the best player for Cloud9 on this map. And, this CT side is one to forget. They get 1 round on the CT side of Anubis, and admittedly, it is a T-sided map. But, it's not this T-sided. I felt like Vitality would get 1, 2, maybe 3 picks, take a bomb site, and then Cloud9 were forced to save. They couldn't give up economic control, so they weren't able to go for these 2v3s, 2v4s, 3v4 situations. They opted to save instead, and kept giving ground to Vitality, and eventually it's just too much. You have Flames unironically on fire for this game, opening up bomb sites, winning clutches, doing everything for Vitality. Meanwhile, ZywOo, Spinks, just kind of pedestrian numbers. It really was all on Flames. This was his map, he dominated, he put Vitality in position to win, and they do. They just absolutely convert. 13-2, like I said. And the big thing we're going to focus on here, I want to dial in very specifically on the pistol rounds. Again, Cloud9 lost both pistol rounds in this game. They lost all the pistol rounds for the series, and it was because of stuff like this. we're going to open things up. Vitality are going to work their way towards water first. They're going to spot towards E-Box. They're going to take the scrap with Hobbit early, get some damage and some intel, and they're going to work to set up what looks like an A execute. They're going to get the water control. They're going to hold mid, make sure no one's pushing B. They're going to spread out, and then they're going to get ready to execute some nades utility to try and bait the rotate A. Crucially, they're going to run down a fair amount of clock before they spring this A hit. That's going to make Cloud9 want to commit to the rotate, especially with Electronic in this close position, waiting to bait the shoulder peek and then fall back with the smoke. Electronic's playing intel, so it's his call for the rotate. We have 4 Vitality players up towards A main. They're getting ready to pop out. They're going to peek and try to take some of this control towards pillar. Electronic spots, drops the smoke. He sees 3 people. He gets the first pick through the smoke. And at this point, okay, Vitality, they did their job. They wanted to go A. They threw the utility. They got the trade. They baited the rotate. Cloud9 fully commits, rotates everybody off the B bomb site. Meanwhile, Apex, who had been stuck in E-Box, hears the rotate, calls for the return back to B. They get the B bomb site for free, and now it's a 4v4 post plant, and C9 hasn't even fully rotated all of their players yet. So some time on the clock's going to wind down, and they're not going to have enough time to get the duels and try and take back the bomb site. And of course, it also comes down to the fact that Vitality, they hit their pistol shots here. Zaiwu takes 1, Hobbit takes 1 back, perfected with the trade. Flames and Apex split the remaining 3 for the round, and that's a very comfortable pistol win for Vitality. So already you fall on the back foot on your CT half because you didn't win the pistol. And at this point we hop to the other side. Cloud9 are on the T side now, 2-10. They absolutely need this pistol round win to be even remotely in the position to try and make a comeback. And what's going to happen here is Cloud9 are going to be in a position where they should win this round. Things are going to go their way to start before everything falls apart. They're setting up, looking like they want to hit B eventually. They're taking some mid control, getting some intel. They're playing it slow. Vitality very smartly aren't peeking anything. They're just holding angles, playing the bomb sites. Electronic is going to play creeped up towards mid, get towards the double doors. He's going to get the spot, but there's one in the B connector. Meanwhile, Vitality are getting bold. They push out B main for the intel. They spot one player. They don't get the intel on the second. Electronic gets a pick on Apex in the A connector. Meanwhile, 2 players are spotted back towards E-Box. Flames gets Axel Hobbit with the immediate trade. Now it's down to a 3v4. They know there's at least 1 E-Box. They have no intel on the others. Cloud9, they rotate back and they get ready to take the B bomb site together because they know they're going to have the man advantage. But they take their time. They run down some more clock. We get very deep in the round, and now the smokes and the flashes come in. The full B execute. Once again, Spinks alone on the B bomb site until Mezzi rotates through the connector, finds a crucial pick on Boomich and Perfecto. Spinks takes 1, 2, and the other. They just immediately wipe it out 2v4. They didn't even need the third player to come help, and it came down to a crucial mistake by Cloud9 at the worst time. If we back up to when those smokes go out, they're going to throw 2 smokes here. One for the front of pillar, and one that should be blocking the connector / CT, but misses, leaving a connector gap that Mezzi takes advantage of to wipe the B main players. They're not even looking connector. The smoke setup is supposed to be blocking connector, I would presume, and there was just a miscue or a missed throw, and that leaves Vitality in position to win a 2v4 bomb site hold, and at that point, it's game over, series over, and Cloud9 are out. Vitality take the set, they move on as the first team to advance to the semifinals, and Cloud9 go home. This was a good tournament from Cloud9. They looked dominant through the opening and elimination stages, but they just couldn't compete in the biggest series when it mattered most. So now we have to look at the roster in the future. What can they do? Is it time to look for a dedicated Omper? Who knows, maybe a topic for a different video. But anyways, we have one more series to talk about, and it was an absolute banger. Now, as I covered a bit in my playoffs predictions video, this matchup between Faze and Spirit should have been the finals of this major. Unfortunately, it comes to us in the quarterfinals. That's fine, because I think we got delivered one of the best of threes of Counter-Strike I have watched in many years. The back 2 maps of this series, Nuke and Vertigo, should go down in legend for how incredible both maps were. Unfortunately, we opened up on Mirage with a boring map, to be honest with you. Spirit came out the gate looking frankly asleep. Even Donk took a while to come online. Donk and Shiro ended up doing really well, but the rest of Spirit frankly didn't come to play. Zontix, and something we will talk about much more in detail in the next few maps, admittedly is super missing, bottom fragging with 8 kills and looked just not good to open up. Meanwhile, Faze, they looked efficient, they looked like they were playing together, the momentum and the vibe was night and day from the Faze that barely made it to the playoffs previously. And leading the charge at the head of the pack, tied for the most kills in the server, is 35-year-old Kerrigan, the man with a mortgage and a kid, doing this against a young up-and-coming #1 team in the world. Kerrigan is the IGL GOAT, and I will not be taking any arguments on that. And newcomer Frozen finally woke up, also matching Kerrigan with 20 kills and a 1.67 rating, looked monstrous on the CT side, just taking whatever the fuck he wanted in terms of positioning and getting frags at will, which is how Faze jumped out to a 13-7 win, taking the first map and putting Spirit on the back foot. And then we would move to Nuke, where really the series began and the sparks would fly. Now, you should absolutely go back and watch this entire series if you didn't catch it live. It's very much worth your time. We're going to skip over the regulation part of this game. The regulation part of this game is incredible. Back and forth, Spirit dominate the CT side, Faze answer in kind, they push it to overtime, but this overtime was truly special, and there's so much here I want to break down, and we're just going to focus entirely on it, because both Faze and Spirit played two of the best T-side sets of rounds on Nuke, maybe ever, to split the first overtime 3 rounds apiece. So Spirit, after forcing map point, lose 3 straight attempts in soul-crushing fashion to end the map. Faze force overtime. How does Spirit choose to open up the overtime half on T-side of Nuke? Well, we start out, they spread out for their map control, they blow open squeaky door, 3 players are on the roof, and they're going to set up for a late A execute. And this A execute is going to be done basically perfectly. We're going to have all the right Molotovs, all the right flashes, and then Spirit are going to burst onto the site in a way that Faze simply can't compete with. Once they're in position, what they're going to do is they're going to molly for the front of site behind the silo, they're going to molly top hut, Kerrigan throws the smoke, but the molly doesn't get entirely blocked, Kerrigan burns out, and now the rush is on. The flash are in, Spirit are out, they're going to lose rain to the first pick, but Spirit, they get the map control, they're able to get the bomb down, it's now a 4v4 retake, and this is such a tough site retake that Faze are basically already in a position where if they don't get a pick right away, they're going to be looking to save. CT economy still sucks even in overtime, so if you can't win the round, you want to save those rifles, especially the op, which is just so expensive. We have Frozen in the vent, Rops and Bo3 in heaven. Frozen's going to pop out the vent, not see Shiro, going to go down to the first pick. Shiro's going to immediately molly heaven. Rops from Mini is going to find the trade, but now it's a 2v3. There's not enough time. Rops and Bo3 are going to opt to save those armor, save those weapons, especially that op, and give up the first round. So, Spirit, they've responded. After not being able to close out the game, A execute, it's beautiful, it's a simple round, but it works. Now, what do you do next? You just ran your upper execute. How do you expect Faze to respond? Because they're going to try and lock down upper and prevent you from doing that again, right? Well, Spirit, they call a timeout, and after this timeout, the tactical minds came together, and they found the solution, and it's brilliant. Now, it can't be overstated sometimes that in Counter-Strike, sometimes the simplest try is the best. Spirit, they run a quick A execute, a dry A push. They find Faze, nades in hand, not ready for the 4-man upper pub rush. They immediately take 2 picks, 1 gets traded back, and they have the site control bomb down 4v3, and Faze cannot go for this round. They're already locked out. They were never even in the round, and it's over inside of 10 seconds. The balls to call a full upper rush, no utility, no setup, no nothing, just like 1 flash and a nade to blow up and squeaky, is incredible. And that ability to shift pace is sometimes the best play call you can make, even in your games. If you've been playing really slow, sometimes you've seeded enough previous rounds that the team is not going to expect you to rush. Sometimes playing stupid or simple is the correct answer, and it works here for Spirit. Alright, so you've hit A twice to start the overtime. Faze are not going to let you execute on A in a traditional way. They're going to lock down that A bomb site. This is the last round of the overtime. You want to win this round because it gives you 3 chances on your CT side to close out the game, so what are Spirit going to do in this situation? Now, obviously, maybe going ramp or going outside, trying to play to the lower bomb site seems like the obvious call. Let's see what they do. Alright, so we're going to start off, and Spirit are going to open up with like their standard setup here. 2 are going to go to roof, they're going to blow open squeaky, they're going to flash through, they're going to molly top hut, they're going to show opening presence and lock off some map control from Faze, make it look like they want to work upper early. Faze are going to respond by going aggressive into hut. With the flash from Bo3, Kerrigan's going to take a peek into lobby, see that there's no one trophy, and then fall back, giving them some crucial intel. By this point, Spirit are going to develop this further. They throw a set of outside smokes to cross the secret. Now, this might be a misthrow, there's a gap here, There's no one walking the secret, but they've thrown it to show they have outside presence. And now, we're gonna wait. Molly and Upper, they're gonna get the pick on Frozen behind Vent. Are they gonna go Upper right now? No, Spirit, they pull back, they've gotten the pick, they've gotten the intel, they have the man advantage. They're gonna let things develop even further. Meanwhile, they're working outside control again. A second set of smokes for the secret cross are out. Are they gonna cross and go to secret? Rain certainly thinks so. Their attention is now pulled away from the A-bomb site. They're really worried about a creep into secret and a pinch B, and this is gonna leave the A site open. And now, a little bit of luck goes their way. Donk's going to push through the smoke, get 2 kills out of nowhere to open up the A site. Kerrigan alone on an island isn't going to be able to answer. Robs from Heaven's not going to be able to do it. And what a brilliant setup from Spirit. So in order, Spirit ran a fake outside to secret once, a fake outside to secret again, then pinched Mini through the outside smokes and took the A-bomb site. What an incredible call. So we switch sides. Spirit, they're on match point to keep their tournament alive. Faze have 3 chances to push us to a second overtime. What are they going to do? Well, firstly, they call a timeout. Settle everybody down. Let's take a second, let's reset and get ready to fight back. Now, Faze just want to take outside control to start. But Spirit are playing aggressive. Donk's out to Redbox. Shiro has pushed past Mini with the op to deny outside control. And Faze seem to be walking into a trap. 3 players outside, 1 on top of Boost. Are they going to be able to spot Donk and Shiro in time? Who knows? They seem to have an inkling of this based on the early utility from Spirit, so they're a little bit weary to push out. Shiro needs to get a pick here, but he's not going to be able to do it. Donk's going to get flushed out by utility. He's going to put massive damage on Frozen, but is not able to confirm the kill. And now Faze are ready to collapse and take this outside control. Shiro hits a leg, unfortunate. Brokey gets the pick on Donk, and now Shiro's on an island. Chopper with the trade, but that's not going to be enough. Shiro's going to go down, and Faze have outside and the man advantage. Chopper trying to get the pick on Frozen isn't able to do it. He's now trying to fall back Alpha outside towards Hell. Is going to get picked by Brokey, unfortunate. And now 2v4. Not looking good for Spirit. They are going to drop this round and they're not going to be able to convert. And that's a great opening round from Faze. Very patient, very safe. They know that Spirit like to play aggressive and they punish him for it. And now this next round is one Spirit are going to look back on and they're going to sweat it out over and over again because they probably should have won the game right here. Once again, Faze are going to work towards outside. Brokey on Marshmallow looking for an op pick. And things are just going to spread out here. Both teams are going to play map control. Donk is tucked into the secret on the box. Rob's looking towards ramp for any kind of control or intel. And now, things are just going to slow down. Faze are going to hit the late outside smokes around 1:15 to cross the secret where they're going to contact Donk. But oop, it's a fake. They're going to try and bend into Mini. Chopper gets the first pick off the shadow. Donk pushes out, gets the refrag. Now here, Donk is allowed to make this swing. You should never make this swing. Donk swings looking for more, looking for the third frag, gets caught out by Brokey, but that's fine. They're still in a 4v3 situation. This is more than winnable for Spirit, and Donk is so good, he might get that pick more often than not. Still, ill-advised, probably shouldn't have done it. And now, Zontix tucks in the dark. They're going to be able to try and deny this plant, while Kerrigan gets out to try and put it down. Zontix gets the pick through the smoke, and okay, 30 seconds left on the clock. This is round over. Robs is nowhere near the site. It's Brokey on an island. What are they going to be able to do here? And then a little bit of lady luck. Robs gets the pick on top. Drops Vent. Gets the immediate second frag on Chopper. Brokey pushes over to control after getting the plant down. And now it's a 2v2. And here, this is just Faze excellence. The door opens. The crossfire. Brokey and Robs just excellent. Robs with a huge 3k to keep them in that round. A round Spirit should have won. And then to close it out, the final round of this first overtime. Faze just showing their dominance and their ability to frag better as a team throughout this series. Spirit, economy broken, can't answer, and Faze take their 3 straight T-side rounds to force it to OT2, where Spirit would come out on top and they would force it to Vertigo for our third and final map. Now crucially, going into this, Vertigo had not been played by this version of Faze in an official match ever. It was Faze's permaban and a map that had been giving a lot of trouble to Spirit. But Kerrigan, the Megamind, the master he is, picks it over Ancient to put Spirit on the back foot, and they would go off on Vertigo. They would open up with 7 straight rounds on the CT side, where it looked like Spirit were just going to fade away, not be able to compete whatsoever. And honestly, the story of this map for Faze was Kerrigan and Brokey, both playing incredible, out of their mind Counter-Strike for this entire map. I don't know where Kerrigan found this individual form, but Faze absolutely needed it. He had 25 frags for the map, a 1.17 rating. He was lights out. Bo3 even better with 30. But Spirit wouldn't go quietly. They would get 4 T-side rounds themselves to keep it to an 8-4 half. Faze would take the pistol and then force match point 5 rounds into their T-side half. Down 12-5, Spirit on the CT side of Vertigo had to try and mount a comeback. And they did. They ran off 7 straight rounds to bring it back to overtime, and along the way, it was really sketchy. There are 2 1v1s that had my heart in my mouth the entire time. Chopper, with 6 bullets left in a post plant against Rops with an MP9, manages to clutch out to keep Spirit alive. And then later on, Bo3 in a 1v2 with a Galil nearly sends Spirit home, if not for the fact that he ran out of bullets and Magix pushed him with a USP. These rounds were so paper thin that it felt like no one even had control, even though Spirit were winning back to back to back. But in overtime, Spirit's luck would run out for the first time it feels like ever for this dominant young core. In overtime, Zontix, who was having an awful series, an awful map, would find himself in 3 straight clutch situations, 1v2s and 1v1s. The first 2, he would lose in tragic fashion. And then we switch to the second half of overtime. On the T side, Zontix finds himself in a 1v1. Rain, knowing that Zontix isn't playing good, just hops the bomb in the smoke. And Zontix gets the spray through the smoke to stop the defuse. A crucial round gotten back. It's 15-14. Spirit are battling for every single round. And in the final round of play, it comes down to a 2v2. Zontix and Shiro trying to keep Spirit in it and force a second overtime. And they run out of time. Rain, with the closing 2 kills, seals the deal, sends Spirit home. Faze advanced to the semifinals, and I'm emotionally exhausted from this game. Truly, one of the best of 3s I have ever seen live, and worth your time to watch if you didn't catch it yourself. Kerrigan, once again, the second highest fragging player on Faze Clan for this series. What an incredible game, an incredible series, and one of the best veto calls in the history of Counter-Strike, picking Vertigo into Spirit. Just goat shit. He's the best in-game leader I've ever seen. And we're not even done. There's 2 more quarterfinals tomorrow. The semis and the finals after that. Faze have to take on Vitality next. They're not even lifting the trophy. But at this point, with Spirit gone, Faze have to be the new tournament favorites. I don't know if anyone could stop them in this form. Man, what a day. Alright guys, let me know if your pick'em survived in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Furley, Justin, and Jesse, my channel members, my global elites, and my best friends. Thank you guys so much for helping me out. You can become a channel member today, $5 a month, helps me out immensely. Other than that, I'll see you guys again with another recap. Peace.